This is Toy Story, the movie review song, and it's copyright free. Don't sue me, Sarah McLachlan. I just really like Toy Story 2. Ride like the wind, bullseye! Hey everyone, today we're talking about Toy Story 2, the classic, the one not many people talk about. They talk about 3 and they talk about 1. 2 is kind of like, it's okay. It's okay. But in reality, Toy Story 2 is probably the best one. And I may be alone in this, but I'm going to tell you why right now. First point that I have not written down these points, but I just have them in my head, okay? Because I'm so ready to talk about Toy Story 2. Okay, here we go. What was the first point again? First point, there's so much that happens in this movie. We got like an insane plot. I can't even know where to begin. There's that opening like video game sequence that's like fantastic with a big stamp of the Toy Story 2 logo. Oh my god, man. It's like, when I watched that as a kid, I was like, I'm watching Toy Story 2. This is legit. This is like a sequel. I don't know. I'm saying a lot about the freaking title. But when Buzz gets killed there, you're like, what the heck's gonna happen? And it's cool because early 2000s video game stuff. I don't know. Don't keep that in. Then after the video game sequence, we have the ripping of Andy's... God. Then after the video game sequence, we have the ripping of Woody's shoulder, and then Woody's like questioning his life choices, and he sees Wheezy, and then we learn that what happens to toys that aren't loved, even or broken, which by no fault of their own, and then they won't be able to be loved or have purpose in their lives. Very deep subject. Anyways, okay, let's do this.
Hello, people.
The first thing I like about this cartoon, this animated film, this animated children's flick, is that there's so much that goes on, and that's to say what generally happens in kids movies, but sometimes it doesn't, and it's pretty obvious when it doesn't. But this movie has so much that happens, so much drama. Constantly we're moving to the next location. We have 2 different stories going on at once, which is kind of traditional. Al from Al's Toy Barn selling the toys for money, and it's like always treated in a very realistic way. When I watched that as a kid, I was like, oh my god, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what he's talking about. How can he make money off toys? I don't get it. And now today I'm like, yo, that's a legit business venture. I should give that a shot. And just so you know, I mentioned this a few times to people, and it's pretty annoying, but there's like a little character, the caterpillar from A Bug's Life. He appears on like a little tree branch went before Buzz slaps it in that scene when they're in the brush right before crossing the street. There's just a lot. There's just a lot is what I mean to say. I'm sorry, I'm rambling a bit, but that's the first point. Second point is the themes are much deeper than in Toy Story 1. Toy Story 1, it was more just about your kid that plays with you, loves you, and we have to get back to him at all the costs. And in Toy Story 2, that's kind of put in question because Woody's like, can I just always be loved if I'm put in a museum? I can always be loved. But if I get broken in any way, which can happen at any time to any of us, and Woody's like, should I compromise that for being loved forever, at least behind plexiglass, but everyone loves me as a part of history. And that's a cool aspect of this movie. The meaning of life really is what it's about, and it's quite crazy. Jessie lives like her whole life with one girl, and the girl grows up and leaves her, and that's what we see in Toy Story 3 actually. Pretty much the exact same thing, exact same problem, but this movie, it does it in a more elegant way and less kind of a dramatic and horrific way. That Toy Story 3 is kind of a dark movie, but this movie takes those darker themes or that could potentially be dark, and it's in there mixed with everything else, mixed with the fun, mixed with the comedy, the humor in this movie. Third point. Ah, man, the jokes, man. When they go in the toy store and they're like riding around in the little cart, just trying to find like Al or wherever he is, and trying to find Woody in there, and the Barbies come in there, and then having the other Buzz, like Buzz not knowing where he is a constant theme in these movies, because he, like, for some reason Buzz Lightyear just can't tell that they're a toy, and he meets another Buzz Lightyear that doppelgangs him. That's a new term I'm using. I don't want to use my head like Rex trying to get through that like vent, and there's plenty of one-liners between like Mr. Potato Head and Ham, and that's something I really love about this movie that I didn't realize I did until now. Fabulous. But I guess the main reason I like it is because it's so entertaining. You don't even really realize it. It's really an improvement on Toy Story 1, animation-wise, story-wise, thematically. The villain is better. The villain, he's never been out of his box, Stinky Pete, and in that way he doesn't really understand the meaning of life, but he thinks he does, you know, and he thinks he's supposed to survive behind a glass wall, and he can't do that without Woody. I think this movie needs to be revisited now. It opened up a lot of doors that I didn't think, and it's a lot deeper than you may think, and a general improvement on Toy Story 1, and personally a favorite of mine over Toy Story 3 and 4. Who cares about 4? Anyways, that's enough of me talking about Toy Story 2. Let's edit this better. Okay.